Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. We got some breaking news to be able to cover here on today's show. The Las Vegas Raiders have signed wide receiver Cam Sims. A lot of y'all are probably wondering, what do I think about this move? Well, luckily for you, I'm going to tell you. Also on top of that, though, the Raiders, they re-signed Keelan Cole. I was live earlier today, and I'm not even kidding you. By the time Jeremy hit end on the stream, the Raiders re-signed Cole, so it was really, really bad timing. And then also some news around the Raiders that happened where not only did the Raiders sign O.J. Howard today, they are also having another tight end, Austin Hooper, coming in on a visit. So essentially, this is what we're going to be breaking down. We're going to be breaking down the latest around the Raiders, and actually even more news just popped in. The Raiders had visits with Blaine Gabbert and Andrew Van Ginkel. At the very, very end of today's show, I'll tell you what the latest is around those guys. But let's talk about Sims, because Sims is another big name wide receiver for some people, and then other guys are like, who the hell is this dude, right? So Sims at 6'5", 220 pounds. So he does offer you some sort of red zone presence. 32 catches for 477 yards back in 2020. Also, though, and this is probably his most valuable asset for the Raiders, special teams. You want to find another Mac Hollins lesser version, Cam could be someone to keep in mind. He's been in the NFL since 2018. 2020 is his top year. 2021, he had 15 grabs, 211 yards, 2 touchdowns. Last season for the Commanders, 8 grabs, 89 yards. He's a big body. The Raiders are trying to continue to go, we'll call it dink and dunk signings, if you will, but they're building depth. Like, they really, truly are. And just because the Raiders are bringing these players in does not mean that they're 100% going to make the 53-man roster. My job here is to keep you guys up to date on Raiders news, and I'm literally making chicken right now. Like, no joke. Literally getting ready to make some curry chicken. I know, it looks a little bit weird, but hey, I saw the news happen, and I was like, I got to delay dinner for a second. Why? Commitment to excellence. If you got it, hit that subscribe button. So Cameron Sims, he signs with the Raiders. Right now, as it stands, the Raiders actually have a pretty good depth at the position. You got Devontae Adams. He's your number one, no doubt. Then you got your top slot receiver in Hunter Renfrow. Jacoby Myers is a very good wide receiver, too. Phillip Dorsett, who brings the speed. And then you re-signed Keelan Cole today to a 1-year deal. He was pretty mediocre and very below average last season for the Silver and Black. He is someone here, though. Tyler Johnson, who was when the Raiders signed him, I know I was like, guy's been working with Tom Brady. I think Tyler Johnson is better than Keelan Cole. Straight up. I think he's a better player overall. And then DJ Turner. He's another guy who's got some special teams ability. I mean, when you see how deep the Raiders wide receiver room is, it's also pretty versatile group. So you got all of those working with the Raiders. This offense with that receiver room, it's good. Now you just got to be able to improve the tight end group. I know the underwhelming signings are kind of getting a little bit frustrating for the Silver and Black. If the Raiders are able to sign Austin Hooper, who comes in for a visit on Wednesday, that'd be a good move. That would be your tight end one. Your tight end 1 would be Austin Hooper. Your tight end 2 would be more than likely the guy you draft. And then O.J. Howard turns into your tight end 3. That also is a very good tight end room for a team that's going to be able to use tight ends that not only can catch, but that can also block. And Hooper's definitely the better catcher out of the group. And then you got O.J. Howard. He's more the blocker in the group in that regard. So you sign one receiver, you re-sign Keelan Cole, and then Austin Hooper, the news around him is that he's coming in for a visit. I was told by a very good source, I said it on Locals, that the Raiders are going to sign at least 3 guys this week. Well, they've already signed one in Cam Sims, so could there be more players continue to add in here? I think the answer to that question is going to be an outstanding yes. On top of that, the Raiders want to build in the draft. I don't know if we're ever going to get that big free agent signing. This is going to be a rebuilding year, and it sucks saying that because, you know, Raider fans, they've been rebuilding for quite some time, and you've been looking forward to the future. I've been looking forward to the future too, my guys, so we'll see what happens. In terms of the Blaine Gabbert and Andrew Van Ginkel moves, It sounds like both of them came in for workouts and both of them left without a deal. Blaine Gabbert, don't really give two shits about. Andrew Van Ginkel, on the other hand, he was a player that I was really hoping that the Raiders found a way to give him a deal because of his versatility, and he had a potential to start on this team. He also offered you some special teams value. So my question to everyone out there, because I have yet to ask a single one, which receiver do you like more? Let's talk about Cam Sims, or Keelan Cole. Out of those two names, who do you got higher hopes for? Let me know down in the comments. Type Sims or you can type Cole. I do think the guy that probably has the better chance of making the roster might still be Keelan because he was there last season. However, don't sleep on Sims because he offers you that special teams ability in terms of being a gunner, being able to go down the field, kind of like what Matt Collins was able to do for you last season. All right, y'all. I am chilling here. Hopefully everyone's had an amazing day. I am going to be live tomorrow on the Raiders Report somewhere around 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific, if no other breaking news does ultimately end up going down. However, anytime Raiders news does end up happening, we're here. We're going to be keeping you covered. In terms of Austin Hooper, who is coming in for a visit on Wednesday, when we talked about Darren Waller getting traded to the New York Giants, one of the videos that I made, and I tried to make it right away, was around replacements. One of the top replacements, if not the top replacement I had on that list for guys that I wanted in free agency, not counting the draft, but guys I wanted in free agency, it was Hooper. And to me, when he was with the Atlanta Falcons a few years ago, he led the league in receptions at the tight end position. Then he goes to Cleveland, gets kind of lost in the mix there, and I don't really think that they knew what they wanted to do at the tight end position. If you're able to add Austin Hooper, who some people at one point probably consider him to be a top 6, top 7 tight end, I'll take Austin Hooper, a rookie this year, and O.J. Howard over Darren Waller. Because I don't know if I have confidence in Waller to actually be motivated to go out there on the field. I don't know if I have the confidence that he's going to actually be able to give you 14, 15, 16 high-quality games that Raider fans were hoping for when they gave him that 3-year, $51 million contract. The other reason, though, why I thought Austin Hooper made sense was because connections. What does this regime look for? They look for connections, and it is really as simple as that. You got Mike Vrabel, who was a Patriot guy, head coach, Austin Hooper. I guarantee you the Raiders probably picked up the phone and they said, hey, what do you think about him? And they probably said nothing but outstanding things because Austin Hooper is a hardworking player who's going to bust his tail. And that's what this Raiders team needs. So the news to cover here today is the Raiders, they signed Cam Sims. They re-signed Keelan Cole. They have Austin Hooper in for a visit on Wednesday. On top of that, Blaine Gabbert, Andrew Van Ginkel both left without signing any contracts. If any other news rolls across here, don't worry, I got you covered. If you're looking for more Raiders videos, click this button right here. That way you're subscribed. Don't miss anything. If you like what you saw today and you want to see more videos here, maybe it's around free agency, maybe it's around the draft, you can click that. And then if you want even more Raiders content, that way I can show you, hey, why we have over 135,000 subs, you can click this bad boy right over here.